A very good day, doctor. I'm Chu Ya Huing, Domometric 279161. I'm one of the group members of Group 8. And firstly, I would like to talk about the introduction of our assignment. Let us begin with the background of our studies, which is heart diseases. Heart diseases, also known as cardiovascular diseases or referred as the silent killer. And these are the several signs of heart diseases, which are chest pain, or we call as angina, swollen ankles, breathing difficulties, breathlessness, and also irregular heartbeat. We will look at several high-risk factors of heart diseases. Firstly is due to the increasing of age, where heart diseases normally occur or strike among old age people regardless of sexes, such as coronary heart diseases, which may cause death, normally occur among age categories of 65 or older. Secondly, in terms of genders, male tend to experience heart attack at earlier age compared to women, whereas women tend to have higher death rate of heart attacks after they have reached their menopause age. Thirdly, in terms of genetics, high blood cholesterol and congenital heart diseases could run in families, where it passes from parents to children in the form of DNA of the egg and sperms. When it comes to the objectives of our studies, where a sample of 80 heart diseases patients were taken to identify their background and to predict heart diseases patients by analyzing various data mining techniques. Thirdly is to investigate which genders are more common to diagnose with heart diseases. And lastly is to determine several ways in minimizing the risk of suffering from heart diseases.
Hi, I'm Chimpan and my matrix number is 278765. I'm going to present the Chapter 2, Methodology. This report represents the finding of relationship between variables and heart disease patients. First, our type of study is correlational research in nature. Data is collected to understand the relationship between two or more variables. As the data was given by lecturer, that means secondary data has been collected. 150 data from patients of heart disease have been collected with different age and gender. Age and gender as their demographic information and other variables such as resting blood pressure, chest pain, maximum heart rate achieved was collected from patients to reach our objective. In terms of skills of measurement, we use nominal for quantitative data and we use ratio for quantitative data. This table shows the scale of measurement for all variables included in the data collected. As for quantitative variable, the data was divided to two types, that is, discrete data and continuous data. All quantitative data are discrete data except for the ST depression induced by exercise. For statistical tools, we use Microsoft Excel to construct table and graph, and using Microsoft Word for formula and calculation. Furthermore, pie chart is used to show the gender of patients and type of chest pain, while the bar chart is used to show the age of patient, and lastly, line graph is used to show the resting blood pressure of heart disease patient. That's all for me, thank you. We'll proceed to my next friend.
Hello, my name is Tan Xiaomei and my matrix number is 278249. I'm going to present the part of analysis and discussion. Let me begin by sharing the heart disease patient background analysis by variables. The pie chart in figure 3.1.1 shows the sex of heart disease patients. For the pie chart, we can see that male has the higher frequency with 108 patients, while there are only 42 female patients. Thus, we can see that the mode of sex is male patient, which occupy 72%, while female patient only occupy up to 28%. Next, we go to the bar chart shows the age of heart disease patients. For the bar chart, we can see that the both younger group with the class between 21 to 30 years old and the older group with the class between 71 to 80 years old was the least, which only 1%, equal to 1 patient and 2 patients relatively from total 150 patients. The higher bar in the bar chart shows that has 68 patients in the age class between 51 to 60 years old was the most heart disease patient, which occupied 46%. Then I will move on to the analysis of the indication of heart disease. Based on figure 3.2.1, shows that asymptomatic chest pain type is the measure for the sample heart disease patients. The total of asymptomatic chest pain type patients is 66 patients, forming 44%, while the trabecal angina is the least patient for the sample heart disease patient, which occupy only 7%. Let's go to the line graph in figure 3.2.2 shows the resting blood pressure result. Based on the figure, we can see the higher resting blood pressure range is 131 to 130 nm per Hg, which is 40 patients, occupy 26.67%. We also can clearly see that the range of resting blood pressure between 131 to 140 nm per Hg is the second highest, which is 34 patients, occupy 22.67%. Toward the end, I will expand our discussion and result. Here I am showing the table 3 to measure the risk of the diagnosed heart disease based on patient age. The table 3 shows the calculation of Fx and Fs squared, which we need it for the next step. According to table 3 and table 4, it shows that the average age of diagnosed heart disease patient is 54.4333 years old. For the sample of 150 heart disease patients, the estimated median age is 54.9118 years old, while the class between 51 to 60 years old is the more frequent for heart disease patients, which estimate mode is 55.4231 years old. Furthermore, the variance of the heart disease patient age is 79.3915, while the standard deviation is 8.9102, and that has an interquarter range between the third quarter and first quarter, which is 12.0098. Last, we go to table 5 that measuring the heart disease patients' arteries during the contraction of their heart muscles based on resting blood pressure. From table 5, we can get the result of Fx and Fs squared, which we need it for the next step. From the above table 5 and table 6, the mean of resting blood pressure is 138.767 mm per Hg. The estimated median of the resting blood pressure is 127.75 nm per Hg. The class between 121 to 130 nm per Hg is the class mode, which estimate mode is 127.3421 nm per Hg. On the other hand, the variance of the resting blood pressure result is 267.7808, while the standard deviation is 16.3640. There has an interquarter range between the third quarter and the first quarter, which is 20.9422. Okay, that's all for the part of analysis and discussion. Thank you.
My name is Tang Mei Ting, metric number 279279. In conclusions, the main purpose for this study is to investigate heart disease among heart disease patients through a survey by self-selected method to describe, compare, and analyze heart disease among heart disease patients. In this study, pie charts are applied to represent qualitative data, while bar chart and line graph is used to represent quantitative data. Pie charts are used to represent first objective and third objective, and bar chart and line graph is used to represent second objective. For the first objective, there have several ways in minimizing the risk of suffering from heart disease. For instance, control the blood pressure, do exercise regularly, and have a good management for stress to minimizing the risk of suffering from heart disease. Based on the analysis, we can simply state that the risk of diagnosed heart disease affected by the resting blood pressure results, age, and gender. For the age and gender, we cannot make any changes, but we can lower the risk of suffering from heart disease. Therefore, we should have a healthy lifestyle to minimize the risk of suffering from heart disease.